but you will not be fearful. You know why you don't fear? Because perfect love means that you are willing to sacrifice. And so there's nothing that you would bring to your wife in a dream, as a vision, as an idea, that you will not be willing to sacrifice if she does not agree with it.
All right, guys and gals and guys, welcome back to another episode of Marriage Matters, because marriage matters and your marriage matters, your relationship matters. All right. I am Shane, and on the other side of the camera and the microphone is
I'm Sylburn.
all right. Today, what we're gonna talk about, for the most part, the woman graduating in testing. She doesn't move away from testing as she gets married, but she graduates to another dimension of testing. Mr. Arthurs and I were talking, and he shares like, we got to talk about this. We got to share this. I was like, this is powerful. Yes. The woman, females, ladies, you do a lot of testing of the man in dating, but now you are gonna graduate to another dimension of testing in marriage. And so, Mr. Arthurs, you want to start to unpack a little bit of that for us in this episode? Sure, go ahead.
Yes, this is actually something very exciting for me, because I enjoy learning more.
That's right.
And it's amazing that the woman, before she marries, her main responsibility is to test. Like the eagle tests her mate before she chooses him. A woman's primary responsibility in dating is to test. How is this man? What is his values? What are his values? What is his belief system? You know, how does he treat women? And the woman, the test procedures go on and on and on. And once he passes these tests, 60% before you date and 90% before you engage, you decide, well, okay, yeah, I can marry this person. But today we want to look at what happens inside marriage. It is a very interesting thing. And until I saw this, I did have questions.
Okay.
I've heard men complain about nagging wives, about antsy wives, women, and women being picky and they're just tearing down everything and not supporting them. I've heard this over and over. So I want to start off giving two experiences that I had. The first one, as a musician, I'm constantly trying to get better gear or get needed gear. And so a couple of years ago, well, not a couple, many years ago, I was trying to buy a set of speakers. These were QSC K12. I heard one guy say that these speakers, they are immaculate. They sound heavenly.
Wow.
And so after doing much research, I wanted to get them, but I found out that in Belize, where I live, they actually have some Mackie Thumps. So I got all excited. I got the money together and I was going to buy my Mackie Thumps. And my wife was like, why are you hurrying? What are you in a hurry for? I got upset. I got saddened. And I said, you know what? You don't want me to do this? You're questioning me? Here, take the money. And I gave her the money and she took it too. As time went by, maybe over a year, I went and I bought a set of speakers. I bought the QSC K12.2 because by this time they brought out the newer design. Now, when I went to test the Mackie Thumps before I wanted to go and return to buy them, I found some smaller speakers that outplayed them. But I was still going to get it.
Right.
When my wife questioned me about purchasing them, not knowing that I found some smaller speakers that were playing better than they were.
Right.
I gave up, and I'm telling you, that was the best decision I ever made not to buy those Macketons.
Mm.
They compare in no way
Mm.
to the QSC.
Mm.
Fast forwarding,
Mm.
a couple years after, I wanted to buy a computer. This was my dream. I wanted a computer to put all the software on that I would play my music with. And here comes my wife again.
Mm.
Why do you want a computer?
Mm.
You just bought a computer. Why do you want another one?
Mm.
No, the one that I bought was not powerful enough, so I was buying a game computer that was powerful enough.
Mm.
Again, I got discouraged, and I did the same thing. Why are you discouraging me? I gave her all the money. Just take the money. No, she was not saying that because she wanted the money. But I was upset. I gave her the money. You just here. It's okay. I'm not buying anything. Maybe a couple months after that, a few months after that, I went and I saw, I almost immediately as I did buy this computer, I saw on YouTube the Mode X. It just came out. The Yamaha Mode X. It's a keyboard. And I was like, that is what I needed. And so a couple months after I was stopped, I went out and I bought the Mode X. And I loved that keyboard. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I began to say, you know, I have never gone wrong listening to my wife.
Right.
I have found myself constantly succeeding. Sometimes I think that I want to do something, and when she is finished with, let me use the word that we should be using here today, testing. When she is finished with testing me, and I listen, because you don't have to listen. You can say, you are an ignorant lady. You don't support me. You fight against everything I do. When we begin to get bitter against our wives, then we stop listening to them. We hide things from them. We do things without them knowing. I have never gone wrong. That is the way I say it. I'm not saying that she hasn't made mistakes before in advising me or so, but I'm saying my opinion is that I have never gone wrong listening to my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I think you know, as even though we're really speaking more explicitly to women, I do think there's something in here for the guys to hear, because it could come off sometimes as if though maybe the wife is resisting or rebelling. But I love your experience, and I've had similar experiences as well. I've also had the other experiences where I didn't listen, and I was like, yeah, I should have listened, you know. And so I do think it's a timely advice and a timely word for husbands, because you know, there's a part in the manual that says zeal without knowledge is no good. And what it's saying is that a lot of times we're very zealous to do things, which is great, but the woman brings that wisdom and kind of like a filter or a sift.
That's right.
And that's a part of it. So, you know, I think for times past, what you just said would have been seen in a negative light and treated as such. Because, you know, we're the men. Once we say it, so we have the ideas, we got it right. We don't make any mistakes, kind of thing. But what I love what you shared, because it speaks to a dynamic and a dimension of marriage that we need to talk about more. That it's not this dictatorship kind of thing, but it's a dynamic duo. Right. I want to say it's like a dynamic duo. And so, you know, don't, you know, guys, don't see it as a threat, but as a tool.
That's right. That is right.
Don't see it as a threat, but see it as a tool that can guide you and help you. You might just save a couple hundred or a couple thousand, you know, you never know. So
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I even want to say that there's a part in the manual that tells us that the wounds of a friend,
faithful,
are better than the hugs or the kisses of an enemy. You have a faithful friend. If they wound you, it is actually better than being kissed or hugged by an enemy.
Wow.
You
Powerful.
see? And so when men run from their wives, this is a person that loves you. Well, a wife is not required to love, she's required to submit and respect. But I'm just saying this is a person that loves you and looks out for you and wants the best for you. And so when you are wounded by her, it is better than the hugs or the kiss of an enemy. Now, in the old days, they used to greet each other with a kiss. That being done by an enemy is worse than your woman wounding you. Because you're upset now that you can't buy a set of speakers. You don't feel supported.
Yeah, and I just one more thing there. I just, you know, as I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about all of this, it's in the process of being discouraged, and I want to use that word, you know, it's like you can feel discouraged by your wife, and it could be painful in the moment, but it's productive later on. And
That's
so
right.
why, you know, think about it, listen to her, think about it, let it be something to help you, and that may be a painful process sometimes, but it could usually results in something productive. So yeah, I just, you know, I wanted to throw those comments in because I think it's a quite fitting, relevant thing to be talking about as we talk about marriages and that kind of thing. So the woman graduating into this next dimension of testing, which is testing his desires and dreams, that's what we're saying.
That's right.
His visions. And so what else can you add to this today for us as we think about her testing his desires, his dreams, especially how you started with such a great example. I mean, I know we're just at the tip of Mr. Arthur's cerebral cortex. Let's go a little deeper.
A woman is to test before, and now we move to the fact that a woman inside of a marriage, her responsibility now is to test the man's dreams, his visions, his ideas. So the testing never stops. Only the subject of the testing should stop.
The focus of the testing, right?
The focus of the testing. You are testing now the dreams that a man has. And you might say, well, that doesn't make sense. And how do you come up? Well, I'll show you how I came up with that by sharing my screen with you, and showing you the process of looking at some letters that were written in Hebrew.
Right.
That spells the word wife.
Wow.
And I'm sure I'm not going to pronounce it correct, but I believe it is something like Isha. And the word Isha means wife. It's a Hebrew word that means wife. But the Hebrew is such a beautiful language because the letters mean something. The letters has they carry numerical values, and they carry also word values. So a letter in Hebrew is not only a letter, like in English you say chair, and it just means chair. But when you say chair in Hebrew, it does not only mean chair, but the letters themselves have meanings. And so we want to look at the letters that make the word wife. It's actually a sentence. See, every word in Hebrew is a sentence. So let's see if I can share my screen and prove to you that a wife is to test her function, her responsibility in marriage is to test your dreams, sir. Let's go. Let's do this thing. This is exciting for me. When I saw this, I was blown away. And so let's jump right into it. This is the word Isha, wife. And this is the part in a manual that tells you when you find a wife, you find a good thing. The very biased manual. It says when you find a wife, you find a good thing, but says nothing about when you find a husband. So here we have the word Isha. The first letter is actually the first letter of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet. The Hebrew alphabet, or the Hebrew words, they are read from left to right. So it's from right to left, sorry. So it's actually opposite the way we read English. The first letter is an Aleph.
Mm.
And if you look here, the word Aleph, or the letter Aleph, it means strength.
Okay.
It can also mean God. So either strength or God.
Mm.
The first letter of the alphabet. The second letter here, for some reason, I love this letter. I really like it. And this letter here is a Shin.
Hmm.
Shin, if you look at the bottom here, means to destroy, to totally destroy. Now remember, keep in mind, as we are going through this, this is the word wife in Hebrew. And the third letter on this side is a Hey. This is another letter I love. This word means revelation. So Hey means revelation. If you put these letters together, I should say this letter means revelation. It's not a word, but it's a letter.
Right.
If you put these letters together, it says to me, her strength is to destroy revelation. So a woman's strength is to destroy revelation, to destroy your dreams. And you might say, this man is crazy.
Right.
That this woman's dream, this woman's strength is to destroy revelation. If you want to move the letter and from strength and say God, then it still doesn't sound good. Because then wife means God destroy your revelation. So anywhere you put it, it doesn't end well for us.
Right.
And so this is why I wanted to share the screen, because it is saying here, Aleph, her strength is to totally destroy your revelation. And so let's look at my my experience when I wanted to purchase the speakers. And this is not the only times it happened. I can give you countless of times that my revelation had been destroyed. The manual tells us that old men will dream dreams and young men will have visions.
Yeah.
And so it is something within men that we love to dream and we love to have visions. And here now God is giving us, or I would say the manufacturer is giving us a dream destroyer. Why would he do that? Why would he give you dreams and then give you somebody to destroy it and say you found a good thing? So we say this lady, she is just spiteful, she's selfish, she doesn't support me. And when I look at this and I see, because this is her responsibility, she is a dream killer. And so now I want to compare this with my experience that I mentioned earlier. What happened? I had a dream, and my dream was to purchase 2 Makitomp speakers, and my dream was totally destroyed.
Man.
So I did not purchase them. I got annoyed. I got upset. I didn't feel supported. You see? But actually what she did was to totally destroy my dream. And what happens here is totally destroying is not a bad thing. For example, if you have gold, you don't go and get gold out the ground and sell people the gold. You purify the gold. How do you purify the gold? By totally destroying it. You take that gold and you pass it through a fire. The fire is going to melt out the impurities. It's going to burn out the impurities. You will be left with gold, pure gold.
Yeah.
You see? So the total destruction of your vision, the way I look at it now, what is left is what you should do. After your wife totally destroy your vision, whatever remains, whatever has passed the test. So basically she's testing your vision to see how strong it is. And so that is why I have come to this conclusion and this belief that the wife, and this is actually what the word wife means. Her strength is to totally destroy your dream, your vision.
Yeah, I like the analogy of the fact that the gold, when it goes into the fire, it moves from that solid state to that liquid state. And it's the fire that reveals the impurities within it.
Right.
And so
and removes them too.
And removes them as well. So I think it's again very practical, very important for us to be thinking about this. Now I have a question, because we're talking about the woman, the wife being a destroyer of the dream and of the revelation. And quite right said, we as men, we have ideas, vision, dreams. But is there how does a man, is there a way for a man to is there a way for him to check also in the process? Because sometimes fear can kill things that could have been great. What do you say to that? Because we're saying that it's healthy for her to test it, it's healthy for her to destroy it. But what do we say to guys that's wondering, man, what could be or what could have been? How do we walk through this practically? So it's my question. How do we look out for fear? Or
if there's fear, then one of the best ways to dream is to make the dream as solid as possible. You can get so good that when you have a dream,
I like that.
It is not contested with much destruction, because you begin from a different level. In other words, if you have a stupid idea, then I remember as a younger husband, I was going through a hard time working at a job, and I wanted to stop. And I offered to my wife to come home, and I would cook, and I would take the kids to school, and then eventually work on getting another job. And I was told emphatically, no, I don't agree with that. And I was very upset about that. I continued to work, because I always make sure that I pay attention to what my wife says. I don't, it's not like I go around like a little lamb, but I'm very cautious, because the manual tells us there is wisdom with multitude of counseling.
Right.
You can get a lot of advice, and you'll find wisdom in them.
Right.
You see? And like that would have been a very bad move for me. So I had a bad idea. You see? The point is that fear comes because you know that your dream is not bulletproof. You know that your dream is not fireproof. And you know that your wife will tell you. So the reason you hide it from her, because you know it's not good. Anybody has something that they know is good, they don't hide it. They put it, they want the world to see that it's good. You have a car, you don't hide it.
Yes.
So I would say that, if you're fearful, then that's very good. Fix it. And then bring something that's sensible. It can be so good that your wife say, wow, just go ahead with that. That's beautiful. And she's gonna, you see, because at the end of the day, she's either gonna suffer because of your stupid choices, or she is going to help you because the manual says she will help you.
Right.
And many times she's much better than you are in different areas of what you want to do. You see, I've seen men that struggle with finance, where they're women, they are the best.
Yeah.
They can save, they can stretch your dollar.
Right.
But these wayward men that want to do their own thing, that have what I call half-made dreams. In Creole, we say half-make.
Half-make.
Their dream is half-made. It's not finished.
Yeah.
Who would want to fly in a half-made plane or a half-made parachute? You see? But men want to push half-made dreams. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Yeah. I think, I think it's great how you brought that response because it's a it's a healthy challenge for men that I'm hearing what you're saying. It's a healthy challenge for us to think it through. And I want to also encourage and add here, and if you probably have another question for you after this. Dream with your wife. I mean, like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, think it through, make sure it's solid, like you said, but think, dream with her. I bounce it, share it. What do you think? What does this look like? And I think this will actually be a healthy practice for your marriage, a healthy practice. Go ahead.
I would inject there and say it is good to dream with her, but just be prepared for her to shoot it down while you're dreaming.
Sure. And no, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Dream with her, because I do think, she'll do surgery on your dreams.
Oh yeah,
exposing.
That's guaranteed.
So I mean, we've all had it. And so on and so on. But I think it will be a healthy practice for your marriage. You have kids, it's going to be a healthy practice for you to model before them, right? They see you even disagreeing in a healthy way, because you can disagree in a healthy way. I think culture in the world has taught us that disagreeing has to always look toxic, but that doesn't. No, you could actually disagree in a very mature and healthy way. But to my other question, being that we've established that when the female and the woman are dating, they're testing, and now as the wives, they're graduating into this higher, deeper dimension of testing. There's some wives that mean very well. They just want to support. Everything is yes. Everything is yes. Everything is just, I'm here. I'm supported. Whatever it is, even though we're going in danger. Yeah, but you said something important a while ago, that the wife is given to help, and it's a divine provision. I want to say it's God given. Let me just say that the man gives help for the man to tap into. Now, if a woman is just supporting and she thinks she's helping by not resisting, testing, destroying sometimes, then she's shortchanging the husband, the man, the family, the marriage. What would you say to her? What do you say to women who maybe the yes is coming from a place of hesitance, or hesitating rather, because I don't want glitches, I don't want strife, I don't want contention, so I'm not, even though I know within me this is a bad idea, but I'm gonna say yes anyway because I just want to keep the peace. What's your advice to women that are hesitating to test their husband's dream?
That's a hard question.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
but I know you're up to it.
Yeah, well, I'll try. And why I say it's hard, because you have to be careful as a wife. Women will know their husbands. Some men are abusive.
Okay, yes.
And you are not allowed to say anything. You're a second-class citizen. There are many wives that are second-class citizens in their house. And if you live with the mother-in-law, sometimes they are third. And if you have kids and living with the mother-in-law, sometimes the wives are fourth in line. It's a shame that a man would get married to a woman and she is a second-class citizen. She should be equal.
That's right.
Not in authority. I'm not talking about authority. But nobody else should be more important to him than her, except God. We're talking directly to the manufacturer, that's okay. You don't believe in God, then nobody should be more important than your wife. You see? And so that's why I want to be careful with that, because if you can't open your mouth, or you will get hit if you open it, then you're stuck in a pretty bad situation that maybe the only option would be moving out of it. But if your husband is not that type of person, then I want to say to you, think of it this way. You're in a car. You're driving inside this car. And you look, and your husband says, let's go. Let's go, and you're driving at 100 miles away. and you look at him and you can see that he is tired, or he is drunk.
Hmm.
You are going to be in that car with him.
Hmm.
Where that car goes, you will go. And
Hmm.
you have just, by saying nothing, multiplied your chances of being in a serious accident.
And the lives of others too. Wow.
And damaging the lives of others. So,
Man.
so by not helping and doing what is your job, it is your job. That is what wife means.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, I would say you're doing yourself a disservice, and as you said, also others, because you're putting others in danger.
You know, I think again, as we're talking about this, it's difficult not to interchangeably give some advice to husband and guys, because I want to say husbands, your answer is great. I think it's relevant to the question, and it especially when you said we don't know the situation that they're in when it comes to the type of husband that they have. It could cost them their health, their wife, could even cost their life. You never know. But I wanna ask a question to husbands, and to myself, to you as well. Like what are you threatened by if your wife gives an opinion that opposes? What is it that you have to be threatened by? What is it that puts you up in arms? It's really only revealing your mindset about what it means to be a husband, and I wanna lovingly say you wanna renew that mindset, because create a healthy atmosphere that your wife can come to you. We talked in an earlier episode about the husband man making sure that soil or that field, the environment is conducive for growth. And I want to just bring that back here. Guys, create a conducive, as best as possible, a conducive environment that your wife can come to you. Doesn't mean that you're gonna agree. You might still go and do, but at least let her know that she can come to you.
Right.
And say, hey, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this or that. I don't think it's a good idea. What about this? Because I'm telling you, Lady Wisdom a lot of times sees what we're not seeing.
Yeah.
And you are shortchanging yourself if you're suppressing her and not tapping into what the manufacturer has actually given to you for your own benefit.
Yep, that's right.
It's for your own benefit. All right. So I just wanted to add that, man. I mean, like, because what you said is real, and I think it's true. And there's just not the atmosphere, the space for a woman to come and say, honey, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Let's create that. That's not a bad thing. Okay.
That's right. That's right. You mentioned earlier that some men are afraid, and why they would be afraid to bring their dreams. And I want to go back to the manual. I'm sorry, the manual is the best thing since rice or whatsoever, how they say that term. You can't get better than the manual.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing better.
That's right.
And as you look at the manual, it tells you when you find a wife, you find a good thing, and you obtain favor from the manufacturer.
Wow. Say that, man.
You see, you are going to obtain favor, meaning that you will find yourself going from success to success to success to success.
Come on. That's right. That's right.
And then it continues to tell us that you are afraid because you do not love. So if a man is afraid to bring his dreams, that means he also has a problem with love. Let me tell you this. It says that perfect love removes all fear. If you love somebody maturely and perfectly, there's no fear. You won't have any fear, because remember, and hopefully we can use another time to speak about husbands and what the word husband means. In the Hebrew. But you will not be fearful. You know why you don't fear? Because perfect love means that you are willing to sacrifice. And so there's nothing that you would bring to your wife in a dream, as a vision, as an idea, that you will not be willing to sacrifice if she does not agree with it.
You know, as you said that earlier, I was just thinking about the fact that, man, how many husbands are fighting their favor rather than embracing their favor. You know, you're whenever you act that way, you're fighting favor. Don't fight favor.
That's right.
Don't fight favor.
Doesn't make sense.
No, don't fight it. Don't fight it. All right. Be friends with the favor. Don't fight the favor. It's given. No, I mean that's good, and that's what we need to be hearing as we're talking in these kinds of spaces and navigating that you know it's okay. It's okay for her to have an opinion. You know, let me just also drop this because I think our time has slipped away from us, slipping away from us, and I also I want to share this thought as we conclude, and then I'll pass it to you for some of your closing thoughts. You know, as we're thinking about the wife testing the dream, and if you said something earlier that I agree with as well. It's not all the time our wives get it right. But that does not mean that we shouldn't, like I said, create that space that they can come and we should give an ear. But to that, I want to say that, you know, husbands, wives, everybody has a right to their opinion, but it doesn't mean everyone's opinion is always right.
That's right.
Everybody has a right to their opinion. And so if you're struggling with it, wife or husband, know that you have a right to an opinion, but it does not mean your opinion necessarily is always right. So I wanna especially I wanna drop that, especially for the guys that's gonna listen to this, husbands. Right. She has a right to her opinion. Listen to it, feel it out, check it, test it as well. Because but again, doesn't mean the opinion is always right. So yeah, that's just a thought that I had in closing on my end. I don't know. Can you unload just one more thing from that cerebral cortex of yours?
Well, I definitely can, and I want to say that before I unload that last thing and empty my cerebral, I want to say that you can feel safe, sir.
Yeah.
In the arms of a woman today. Most of the women today are highly educated. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying most women are highly educated. So they have the ability to test your dreams. Because it's most of the time, it's not a fool that you have married. You have married somebody that might be way more intelligent than you are. My wife is way far ahead of me in intelligence.
Just told my wife that yesterday. We were talking. I'm like, you're smarter than me. You know that, right?
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing because you have fighting on your side a powerful person.
That's right.
You see? So I just want to say that to men, you can feel safe in having your dream shut down. It is to totally destroy the things in it that is not good. The parts of it that is not good.
Yes, refining it.
Right. The dream will not die unless it needs to. But you take what's left and then you build back on top of that. You don't want to build half-made stuff.
That's good, man. Our wives refine our revelations and define our dreams. Man.
Wow. Love it. I love it.
You know, they're there to refine the revelation. I know I had my last, but when you said that, I was like, pop, gotta drop this. Yeah. Yeah,
very good.
Look at it like that. They're refining the revelation and helping to define the dream. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, to end, for me, the last thing I would like to say is that what I love about the manual is that it is not biased. Anything from the manual can be applied in any area of life. And even people who are successful, they might not even know that they are applying the manual. They might say they hate the manual, they hate the manufacturer, they don't believe he exists. But it doesn't matter. Once you are following the principles of the manual, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. That's how manuals work. You see? And so I want to say this, that the manual can be applied, these words in the manual can be applied outside of the husband and wife relationship. The husband and wife relationship can be broken down to a basic particle. a basic component, and that basic component is what I like to refer to as an authority relationship. You have two types of relationships, I believe. Two major types: friendships and authority relationships. You might be the friend of a police, but that police, when he's on the street, is your authority. And so the marriage is similar. And so I want to say this. This principle here applies not only to husband and wife, but anywhere there is an authority relationship. So the police job is to love you, but there might be times when you as a citizen, not when he's arresting you, can give some ideas about how they do things that can make it better. Pastors in your churches.
That's right.
You are not kings. I'm sorry.
Say that.
And even if you're kings, we are all kings according to the manual. You're not anybody's king. You are supposed to love them because they are somebody else's wife, if you want to put it that way. And I'm not talking about, anyway, let me behave myself here, but you're not kings.
Yeah.
And so when somebody inside your congregation comes and gives you an advice, gives you an evaluation, and comes and tests your dreams, that is not the time to chase them and to scold them and to put them out. It is time to look at your dream the same way a husband should look at his dream after his wife's shoe sit down. You see? Yes, you have the vision, but allow it to be shut down. A teacher in a classroom, your students complain about something. You are not God. You are not the manufacturer. Stop and look at it and evaluate it and see where you can fix it, that it is conducive and it works and it is best for everybody as much as possible. And so that is what I would like to leave us with, to say that this is not only, the manual is never just applicable to wife and husband. Then you are missing out on how it can change your success in other areas of life.
Right. I mean, what else to say, guys? I told you when it pop up in that cerebral, I told you. But y'all didn't listen. You didn't listen to me when it popped that cerebral cortex. It's going, guys and gals, this has been another episode of Marriage Matters, because your marriage matters. All right. Until next time, I'm Shane.
I'm Sylburn.
We'll see you guys. Blessings.